She's streaming, so everybody watch your language.
I'm not streaming. I'm just recording it.
Son of a...
Actually, nice to record. I love her recording, though.
Okay. All right,
But
guys.
I'm not
Best
going to
moment.
edit it. I'm not going to edit it. I'm
Oh,
just going to
Lord.
post it uncut on YouTube.
Oh, Lord.
All right, guys. Can
Now, young lady.
may I have the microphone, please?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Elliot. I've done a lot of these training classes for GenX. I'm actually only 38, but they let me in because I do training classes. So I did a lot last fall, and I'm going to start doing some more this fall. This one today, I don't think we're going to do as much peeking as I planned, just so we have time to work on the close quarter stuff. I'll
You're
work
cutting
on it
out.
with you.
I can hear.
Am I-
we lost.
Am I
We
here
lost
now?
you.
I can hear you
He's
now.
back.
Yeah.
He's back.
All right. Sorry, I'm on my new PC for the first time ever, so I'm still working out kinks. Okay, so you need a good peek for close quarters combat. If you don't feel like yours is good or you haven't ever had yours looked at, come find me today, and I'll run off to the side with you, and we can talk through it together. But basically, the important thing when peeking is a lot of people when they first start are up here peeking. Okay, and your whole neck and your head and everything is exposed. Quill's got it right. It should be just your eyes. Okay, and when you're peeking, especially with close quarter stuff, you don't need to be able to see anything. You need to pop up, and then you can hide, and you can keep your hand up high and shoot. And that's pretty important for this, right? Because the more you expose, especially if you're going up against a Tech 9, the harder it's going to be to win that fight. So I think the most neglected thing that most people struggle with in close quarters combat is keep cover. There's a natural tendency to just run out and
Keeping
there's
cover.
a natural keep your hard cover. There's a natural tendency to just bum rush your opponent, and if you hold your hard cover while the other person's doing that, you'll win 10 times out of 10. So think about that. Slow your pace down a little bit. Don't just rush into a close quarter fight and try and shoot it out. Try and bait them into getting out into the open. Any questions or comments about that before I keep
What have
moving?
you found to be most successful tactic in baiting your opponent to come out from somewhere
So-
other than the zone pushing?
So fake reloads are really good. So especially if you have like a P90 or an M10 or something with a high magazine count, you can go bang, bang, bang with an M10, or you can dump half the mag with a P90 and still have enough to kill the opponent. So stopping halfway through a magazine is a great way, because they think you're reloading. It's a great way to get them to step out, and then you can push that way. Act like you're rushing them, and then throw a build up, and then fight behind the build. Or if you're hurt, that's where I actually get a ton of kills. Is if I'm hurt, I know the opponent knows I'm hurt. I'll just sit back and let them rush me, because I might only have 10 health, 20 health, but if you're holding a good peak, you'll still kill them if they have full health. So that's another thing, is a lot of people will get low and then they'll just run. And what you should do a lot of the time is turn around and fight. Find some hard cover, turn around, and wait for them to run out in the open, because they're going to bum rush you, and kill them then.
Thank you.
What else?
Maybe this is jumping ahead a little bit, but what if you're trying to maintain that hard cover? You've got somebody that you're standing off, and then you're getting baited by somebody else, or there's somebody else is pushing.
So it's time.
Or
it's time
even
to
if if all three is there, what's the best
disengage.
defense?
Disengage. So if you're in a 1v situation, you need to
You're
isolate
cutting
it.
out.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Start over.
It's
yeah,
intermittent
so if you're,
at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why
It's
doing
like
that.
evenly spaced. I wonder if you got something in the background.
It's
We
something
heard
else trying to
disengage.
connect.
Anything after disengage,
Like a
is
fan or
super
something?
continue.
Sounds like it's trying to connect to something else.
Once I get done here, I will come back on just standalone. Let me know if I cut out.
Yep.
What was the question? Oh, it was about
disengage.
Disengaging.
Yes. So disengage until you have a clear 1v1. That's real common. If you're like holding your peak and you have someone coming off from the side, that it's time to move, right? And that might be as simple as just getting over here and forcing the other opponent to be in a 1v1 situation just by a little bit, right? You're just buying time because it doesn't take long to kill someone close quarter combat. But if you can feel the pressure coming and you're getting pinched, you need to move. That should be number one priority.
Okay. What if you can't?
I'll survive.
Oh, you're gonna die.
Then you die.
Well, I mean, like, is there a trick to like saying, okay, this is my 1, this is my 2, this is my 3? Like, is there?
No,
or is
no.
it
You
just
should have a very obvious 1. If you're taking them both on at the same time and they're coming at the same like pace, that's where you screwed up. You need to shift it so that there's like a triangle and you're only dealing with the tip of the triangle is pointed at you.
Gotcha.
So
reducing the number in that situation somehow.
Yeah, exactly. And if you get like an oh shit moment, then it's time to just build like crazy. You just want to spam build and just try to force them to make a mistake or buy time for someone to like kill one of them. And that works a lot. You'd be surprised how much it works to just disengage. The game has a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah, well, I know in Legions that's usually what we do, and we're constant communication. As soon as we get pushed by more than one, we're like, okay, you need to move. But when it's, you got 3 on your squad, or 5, and you have 5 people coming at you, like it gets hairy real quick. Yeah.
So, sometimes it's a matter of just getting how many kills you can before you die, not if you're gonna die. What I tell people in the moment is hold your peak. You'll hear me yelling at people, like if you play with me and you're the last person, or if you're in a tough spot, I'll just yell hold your peak, and that just means like find some hard cover, make them come to you and get 1 kill. Anything after that is just icing.
Gotcha.
What else?
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go into the actual guns, the close quarter guns. So what I'm going to teach you is really applicable to the shotguns and the Tech 9. And as you go up in levels, it's much, much harder to play without one of these guns. Until then, you can run with an SMG as your close quarter combat weapon, but you really need to be able to have one of these guns. And what a lot of people will do is they will get as small and close range as they can as the game goes on. So if you start and all you have is a P90, that's great. But as soon as you find a Tech 9,
breaking up.
Tech 9.
Back.
You're
back.
Yep.
Okay, sorry guys.
It's all good.
So what we call it the TTK. That's the time to kill, and each of these guns has a different TTK at a different range. Okay, and what's important is that you stay within the max TTK range for all weapons. So does everyone understand? Let me ask this: does anyone not understand how damage drop off works?
No.
No, I don't even know what you're saying right now.
Yeah, what is that? I have no idea.
Okay.
Speak my language.
Okay, so every gun, pretty much every gun has a range, whereas when you get far enough away from your opponent, it no longer does full damage. And that becomes really important with like the Tech 9, for example, and your SMGs. So let's see. I can't see who that is, but I'm doing full damage there, right? I'm hitting for 26 per shot. Right here, I probably won't. Yeah, right there, I'm doing.
Right there, you were what?
Taking a shotgun, it's mine.
I was doing 18 damage per bullet. But when I was over here, I was doing 26, right? So it's the distance of 2 builds, and the damage is a huge drop-off. So, so that's really important to control, and that's what most of your close quarter combat is trying to control that distance between you. So the distance drop-off goes Tech 9 has the longest range, DT has the next longest range, then M10, and then Matadors, and then Sword, right? So if I know, is that you, Rat, over there? I can't see your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So if I know that Rat has a DT, I'm going to try and get away from the effective range of his DT because I have a Tech 9. And I'm going to try and maintain that distance because the further you get away from him, the less damage he's going to do because his spread on the DT becomes greater and he won't hit me with all the pellets. Similarly, if I have an M10,
wait, if you have an M10, start.
If I have an M10, I know I need to actually close the distance because he has an advantage at range. Now, with a Tech 9, and that's the one you guys probably want to learn, to be honest with you, but with a Tech 9, the distance, or the drop-off distance, if you're inside the full damage range, you can kill somebody with 2/3 of a magazine. Okay, so that means you can miss 1/3. If you are outside of the drop-off range, you now need to hit them with every single bullet in the magazine, all 12, to kill them. Right? So you need to use that both to your advantage and you need to be aware of the disadvantage. If I'm shooting outside the full damage range, I need to plan for a reload with the Tech 9. Similarly, with an M10, I know that if I get closer, I'm going to hit more pellets because with an M10 and a DT, the pellet spread becomes
The pellet
It
spread
becomes
what?
big.
the pellet spread becomes wider at range, especially with the M10. It's really noticeable. The other thing is with an M10, the higher the rarity of the gun, like if it's purple or gold, the tighter the spread, so it has a longer range, and also the faster the M10 shoots at a higher rarity, right? So the quickest TTK in the game, I believe, is a red M10. It shoots so fast that no other gun can kill you as quick as that gun. So you need to use like the M10 at all different rarities to like really know when to use where, right? If you have a 1-star, you need to be like up close like matadors basically. But if you have a purple, it pretty much becomes the same as a DT in terms of range. So as you're fighting each other, think about what your opponent has. That's the first thing, right? Is to figure out what they have, and then either close the gap, find a way to get closer, or back up. And doing something as simple as just backpedaling when you have a longer range weapon is plenty with a shotgun. Okay, it's really easy to miss. Okay, so with the Tech 9, you shoot this gun just like the AK. You just pull straight down. That's it. And it's a lot of pull. And then the reload with it is all with your primary hand. So you grab the magazine with your offhand, then you can come down with your primary, pull away with your primary to rack the slide. And then let's see. Yeah, let me do that again.
I should have picked that.
Yeah, so you come down on the magazine, and then you open, close, you pull away, then you bring it back to your primary and release your offhand, and that will reload it. And that's how you get the quick reloads. So the biggest problem everyone has when they start the Tech 9 is the reloads, and eventually they will become super fast.
Okay.
Lagging. Am I there?
Super fast. What?
Yeah.
Super fast. Yeah.
Eventually you'll be able to do
Hey,
them really
what time
fast.
is it?
What time?
7:20.
7:20. Any
Sorry,
questions
guys, I
about
wasn't talking to y'all. I'm just talking to him.
Oh, I have one add-on. So for healers, that time to kill is also your time to heal. So
What?
so close range with the tech, you can heal your teammates really fast. Same thing with M10. And most people have spare shotgun bullets, so it's like worth it for you to pull that M10 out and light up your buddies.
Yeah, that's a very good point. All right, any questions about the tech before I move on to the DT? Okay, so the DT, I don't have one on me, but it's a one-handed reload, okay? You only need to get good enough with the DT to get the one-handed reloads down, and then I wouldn't worry about it anymore, all right? It used to be the best close-range gun in the game. It's full of ruin, really. You need to be perfect.
Wait, whoa. It was the best gun in the game.
It used to be the best gun in the game, and it is no longer now that it doesn't two-tap. And so it should probably be your like third or fourth favorite close quarters weapon. And so I recommend only spending enough time on it to be able to reload one-handed and shoot one-handed. And the recoil is easy. It's just bang, bang, and the second shot, if you aim at the feet, the second shot will go at the belly.
Okay.
Now, the thing you need to be aware of with the DT is if you pull the trigger too fast, the recoil changes. So the recoil is the same until you pull the trigger really, really fast, and then the kick is really high. Then it goes from like feet to above the head. Unless you're practicing a ton, it's not worth trying to shoot it that fast. It will cause more problems than it does for anyone except for like, Diamond Division players. So just get it, and you have to go really fast. Like it's really hard to do it that fast. So get a consistent trigger pull that is steady. And feet back every. If you just practice that in pregame lobbies, you'll get the hang of it. Any questions about that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Now, the M10, the important thing is that you don't really want a 1-star M10 ever, because they're just trash. They kind of work in Phoenix because all guns are trash early on, but you really need to be at 2-star for it to even be effective, and 3-star is where it starts competing with a Tech 9 or a DT. And that is because 2 things, like I said. 1, the bullet spread becomes less. 2, the fire rate is fast enough to compete. The thing you can't have happen with an M10 is you can't have a reload mid-fire fight. That will fuck you every time because it is such a slow gun to shoot. So you need to, like, a lot of people will just charge in with the trigger pulled, and then they will not hit all their shots, and that's when they get beat, is during the reload. So this is where you can either bait, get 3 shots off, and don't reload.
Hold up.
Three shots off.
And it's okay to get a few shots off, maybe 1 or 2, and then wait, don't reload, because any good player is going to push you the minute they hear your M10 stop firing, right? Because they know it's a slow reload. So that's a good way to bait them. Hold your hard cover, get your last 3 shots in, and that will often be enough to kill them, especially if you can get them to close the gap for you and push you. The other thing with an M10, and this is true for any gun in Pop 1, there is a point away from your body that the bullets technically like exit the barrel, okay? So like with an AWP, the point is way out here, right? Because it's a long barreled gun. With a DT, you'll find that it's really hard to play too close with a DT because the gun is much longer and the bullets exit. So when you're trying to like turn an angle and shoot somebody to your side or somebody that's flying by you, if they're too close, it's really hard to hit them. With an M10, it's
Hold up.
M10 what?
With an M10, it's a shorter barrel length, and so the bullet actually exits the gun closer to your body, which means you can shoot close quarters more easily. So much so that you can kind of hold your hand away from your body and angle the gun like I'm doing like this, right? And so if someone's like running up close to you with like matadors, or they're just like dancing around you, you can actually hold the gun high and above your head, and you can get close to them and shoot them still, right? You can't do that with the DT because it's too long of a gun. Any questions about any of that? Any of those guns?
No.
Okay. The last thing that I'm going to leave you guys with before we start is it's a math game, okay? You assume everyone has 200 damage, and you are just trying to beat them by 1 damage, right? That's all it takes. After that, you get your 50 pot, and you keep fighting, or or your teammate will come and revive you, or whatever it is. But you need to be aware of the math and keeping track of them.
Hold up.
Aware of the math.
Yeah. If you know they have 50, and even if you only have 55, right? You still know you should win that fight, and it's worth pushing in. And so as you're fighting people, keep a mental track of the math. If you're going to use the DT, for example, you know that you can do 92 damage with a double tap, right? So that means you got to dink them for 8 first, and then you can push in as hard as you want and get a double taps and kill them. If you're outside, if you don't see your Tech 9 doing 26 damage per bullet, you know that you had to hit them with every single bullet for them to die. So you need to, that means if let's say you missed a third of your magazine with the Tech 9, you only need to hit them with a third when you push again. So the math is really important. You have to be aware of it, and you have to be counting. So work on that while you're fighting each other.
That's a good point.
All right. Any questions?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Then let's start. Just try not to, if you don't have to, don't third party. If you can find someone to just take on and fight 1-to-1, do that before you third party, just so we can all get some better practice.
Can you restart?
Yeah, I can restart it.
1 point.
Actually, yeah, we'll just play it out.
Hey, kill somebody so I can have their guns.
Whoa!
Macaroo and jelly. Macaroo and jelly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, meet me in the middle again.
Copy that.
I was looking for
I was peeking.
I was peeking until everybody
I shot
stopped
some
peeking.
peekers.
I'm with
I
him.
can't shoot a peeker. I can't. It's impossible
All
for
right.
me.
You have to move
Well-
around them.
If you can't shoot a peeker, shoot their pecker.
Exactly. Okay, so first of all, you shouldn't try and shoot someone that's peeking with a shotgun, because the spread is going to mean that to hit them in the head, half of the pellets are going to have to go into the structure that they're peeking. So if you have a shotgun, your goal is to somehow get around or circumvent that peak altogether. Okay. Similarly, if you have a Tech 9, your goal is to hold that peak because you can be really effective, right? With a Tech 9. So that's one thing. Another thing, like I said, is never peek a build, okay? Because a good player is just going to shoot it down and then you have no hard cover. And then something I did last fall that I should probably do again this year is that we did a course on moving from structure to structure instead of running. You fly as much as you can. That's really important with close quarters combat too. To be moving from structure to structure.
Hey, I'll-
One is quicker. Just build and fly or climb and fly is quicker. But two, it ensures you are always on something that hard cover. Always, like if you start taking fire or someone surprises you, you can just grab and position yourself on that structure, and that's really important. So, Quill, you were doing a really good job of it, right? You were going from one container to the next, and you want to do that when you're fighting right now. And even if you're trying to close the gap, take an asymmetrical line to the person from hard structure to hard cover, and practice that. And then, like I said, the other thing is if you know someone, close quarters combat's a lot about momentum. People's momentum will carry them in the direction that they're moving typically. So if you see that, that's your chance to pre-fire, right? If I know that someone's coming around in front of me to my right, I'll step out. I'll start firing before I step out. And that will actually probably register all the bullets on their side. So like when you go up against a good player and they just appear out of nowhere, melt you, and you don't know how that was possible, you're like, how the fuck? Is he hacking? No, usually the reason they melted you that quickly is they pre-fired you and it just didn't register on your headset. So but it registered on the server. So all you might.
No, they cheated.
It could be that.
I'm with her.
I don't buy that.
So like when you
They
only
cheated by
hear
knowing the game.
when you only hear one DT shot or only two M10 shots, it's not because like it glitched or it was a hack or whatever. It's because they pre-fired you and they registered on the server before they registered on your headset and you died. What else? Any other questions?
You can kind of play that against people too, because sometimes people pre-fire, and you weren't actually where they thought you were, and now you know where they are because they just shot in the corner. So that's like the give and take of it. That'll happen too.
And you don't want to always do it just on the guns where you have a lot of ammo, right? So P90 is a really good one to pre-fire with. The Tech 9 is good to pre-fire with because you only need 2/3 of the magazine up close.
CX.
Don't use the CX. If you're using the CX,
If you're being
come
forced
see
to
me.
use one.
Yeah.
Okay, I like the CX. Maybe that's why I suck.
It's just so
You do
slow.
not.
It's
But I
it's
don't
slow
shoot
at unloading.
close up with it. I just like to stay back and
Yeah.
shoot the
All right. Anything else you guys want to work on before I start another one? I'm gonna turn on Matadors.
Ooh, okay.
Why don't you turn on Uzis while you're there?
Yeah,
Yeah, turn on
Uzis.
Uzis.
Uzis are good.
That's it.
The
I
range
give up.
on
See you
Uzi
later.
It's really far.
We'll do it.
Well, that way, if
Oh,
everybody's
actually-
using Uzis, we can go
Someone-
not them.